Hey everyone, hey
Hi.
you.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
I'm Kevin.
Oh man, welcome to Viva Physical Media. My name is Emily.
I'm Matt.
Your eyes are not tricking you. This is not Kevin. This is our new co-host, Matt Lynch.
I'm the Richard Roper to this new version of Viva Physical Media. I'm the Mike Nelson replacing Kevin's Joel Hodgson.
Which of the Mystery Science Theater robots am I?
Well, that's a good question. Which robot do you want to be? Or do you want to be one of the Mads?
Oh, I think I want to be one of the robots.
You feel like a servo to me.
What about... Rich, I'm looking at you because you love Mystery Science Theater.
It depends how you want to go. There's Gypsy, don't forget.
And Gypsy runs the ship. But Servo's like the smarter of the robots, I think. And the funnier one, I think.
Well, how about you guys in the audience comment below, tell me what Mystery Science Theater robot I am, or whatever. Welcome to episode 45, I believe. Matt's first episode. I'm excited. I'm excited that you're here.
I'm excited too. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. It'll be fine.
It's pretty good.
So you guys don't like insult him too hard in the comments.
You can. It's fine. I've got a thick skin.
Or do that. How have you been?
I've been doing okay.
Yeah.
I hurt my foot a few weeks ago. It feels better now.
Good. I had my like weird foot numbing
both had
thing,
foot problems.
and now mine's better.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's good. Our feet work now. Have you watched anything lately that you're not going to talk about today that you want to just like briefly mention?
Yes. Since we recorded Kevin's last episode, I went to the Viva Physical Media screening of Bingo.
I forgot that happened
Which
in the middle. Yeah.
Was one of the fucking funniest movies I've ever seen in my life. I'd never seen it before. I thought it was absolutely astounding.
Okay, if you guys are watching and you made it out to that screening, thank you.
And now you know what I'm talking about.
We had a sold out screening of Bingo.
Probably the most heavily attended screening of Bingo.
Oh, I'm sure.
In the history of Bingo.
We had Bingo cards.
Bingo cards.
I still don't understand
Did you
how
win?
that works.
I didn't win.
No, because I didn't play.
Okay.
But I put together the prize packages, and so I hope
Those were cool.
they were really cool. It was fun.
Would have been cooler if I had one, but that's fine.
It's okay. But yeah, we sold out the Beacon for Bingo. Great movie. If you still haven't watched Bingo, what are you doing?
You guys undersold it to me. You were like, it's pretty good, it's funny, it's weird. One of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, go back to one of our episodes and watch us talk about Bingo because I think talking about it made me love it more. And then when I watched this last time at Beacon,
watching it with a crowd has to be different than watching it at home.
Yeah. It's not a solo watch movie.
No.
It's definitely a crowd movie. A crowd and some beers.
When he's in court testifying,
swearing on the Bible,
and then the court stenographer has to read back his testimony, and it's just like woof woof woof. I lost my mind.
Iconic.
There was basically towards like the last 20 or 30 minutes of that movie, I had been laughing so hard, I was so wound up.
You're just fucking hyped off Bingo.
I was so jacked that like literally anything that was happening made me laugh. Like I was no longer in a discerning mode.
You guys heard it. If it can give like a big adrenaline boost and lots of serotonin to Matt Lynch,
that is saying a lot.
You guys need to watch it if you're feeling down.
Yeah,
but with a crowd or friend or like
a tremendous movie.
Have I watched anything? I don't even know. I was at the North Bend Film Festival all last weekend.
What's good?
And it was great. Well, all the shorts I programmed were amazing.
Of course.
Say that. I watched I Love My Dad, that Patton Oswalt movie.
Ooh, how is that?
It's really good.
I heard it's super cringe.
It's super cringe, but it's like also super full of heart. And like Patton Oswalt's amazing. And the guy who plays his son was also the writer and director. And it's based off something that happened to him.
Oh, shit.
Which is insane. I watched a movie by Carter Smith who did the horror movie The Ruins that I really like.
Ooh, I liked that too.
He did a movie called Swallowed, which was a creepy movie where these guys have to swallow these drugs and take them across the border, but then like shit goes wrong and Jenna Malone's in it, like her.
Is it like Maria Full of Grace, but a horror movie?
I don't know what that is.
That's a Columbia movie from like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago about a young woman who's like swallowing a bunch of drugs and has to go over the border.
I think it's probably a little more goofy than that, but then also it's very sad. And then I watched a movie called Please Baby Please. I don't remember who did it, but it was really great, kind of like neon musical weird vibe. I don't even know how to describe it. Just look it up. It's pretty cool. All right, so do you want to like dive into episode 45?
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready to go. No more hesitating.
All right, you guys, we're back with one of my favorite segments.
What is it?
Maybe it's one of yours. It is Raunch versus
Rom?
Rom. Matt, are you ready for your first Raunch versus Rom?
I think so.
Okay, we're just throwing you in right now.
Yeah.
In my corner of the ring, the Raunch corner of the ring, we have Desperate Moves. Who's in your corner of the ring, Matt?
Tonight I have 2006's She's the Man.
Oh wow, look at these two
With C.
competitors.
Tates and Amanda Bynes.
All right, you guys know the rules. We get 2 minutes on the counter.
Are you ready?
2 desperate minutes.
I'm ready.
And
Okay, Desperate Moves is about a nerdy character who loves roller skating, and he decides to go to San Francisco because he is sick of his factory job and he just wants to be cool and get laid. So he goes to San Francisco, and we see him like be there and like experience the cool culture, and he skates down that iconic windy road called the Lombard Street, and he gets a job at Roxy Rollerama where he bumps into this girl that had robbed him earlier and took his wallet, and he's like, I really want to like have sex with this girl and like make her my girlfriend. So the whole movie is him trying to make this girl his girlfriend and trying to be like cool and everything.
It's a pretty desperate move.
The girl who robs him works at Poodle Land, which is a dog grooming place that I guess specializes in poodles. Amazing. This movie's very poodle heavy, and he also has to walk his landlord's poodle in order to like stay there, I guess, which just seems like a weird exchange.
I would totally take that deal.
There's not a lot of raunch in this. It's more of like a weird kind of dorky comedy, and eventually he meets Christopher Lee, who is like this guy who makes men into like cool masculine men, and he teaches this dork how to be like mean. And then he like wears a leather jacket and is mean, and then the girl doesn't like him as much anymore. Can I see how much time I have left on the timer? So the girl doesn't know how much she likes him anymore, or if she ever did, and he has to learn how to be more himself and not this like cool leather jacket wearing Christopher Lee student that he was. It ends with him holding onto a car while roller skating across the Golden Gate Bridge, which is extremely dangerous, and it didn't look like there was any sort of effect, so I think he actually did that. And Christopher Lee also did a book called Punch Your Way to Success and Give Me What I Want or I'll Hurt You.
Wait, in real life?
You'll never know, because that was the end of the timer.
Well, now I need to know if IRL Christopher Lee is like a pickup artist.
No, but in the movie he was.
All right, is it my turn now?
are you ready?
Yes.
And
All right, so my ROM is 2006's She's the Man, and I'm told I have to act like I think this movie should win the Raunch versus Rom debate, but let me tell you a secret, I fucking don't. This is a bad movie. She's the Man is basically a remake of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. Amanda Bynes plays a young lady named Viola who wants to play soccer at the local high school, but not enough girls play soccer at the high school, so the team is just unceremoniously cut entirely. Nobody gets to play soccer anymore. Coincidentally, her brother, Sebastian, wants to go on tour with his band to Europe for 2 weeks and hide out. So Viola takes Sebastian's place at the fancy private school that he goes to and pretends to be a boy on the soccer team just so she can play soccer. It's just she wants to play soccer so bad. And you know what? I don't have a problem with that. It's the other things that happen in the meantime. She sort of runs across multiple young men. There's Channing Tatum, whom is her roommate, dorm mate, I should say. So she shares a dorm with like 2 or 3 other guys. There's a really great scene where they find out that that their new roommate has tampons in their backpack, and they question them exclusively about this because, and Sebastian, Viola as Sebastian, says that she uses the tampons for nosebleeds, and they are completely shocked that apparently tampons are super absorbent. Anyway, this is basically, like I said, it's a remake of Twelfth Night. The one good thing about this movie is that its sort of plot machinations really do resemble what would go around in a Shakespeare comedy, like Mistaken Identity, Comedy
of Errors type.
Comedies of Errors. Somebody who doesn't realize they're in love with another person, but mostly what you wind up with is this sort of like...
You didn't even give him a little look.
No, it's good. I didn't want that.
Okay.
I've got more to say. I'll do it on my follow-up.
Yeah. All right, you guys. I have my final statement, which is 2 statements. The director of this movie also directed a movie called Madhouse, which I think was a pretty good horror movie, and a movie called Beyond the Door. My second statement is there's a line in this movie where someone says,
I'm standing here freezing my Charlton Heston off.
I'm standing here freezing my Charles Heston off.
What?
And that's
Is that what you're gonna call your whatever that's called from now on? Your Charles Heston? I don't even know what that means.
I'll call my boobs my Charles Hestons. 2 of them.
It's just one.
That's one.
Just one.
All right. Final statement for She's the Man.
My final statement for She's the Man is it's trying to do something sort of overtly feminist, but it ends up just being a crummy comedy that doesn't do anything for anyone and just kind of, it's a bummer. It reaffirms gender binary and doesn't do anything interesting, and it's just not funny.
Yeah, I'm a striker. Andrew and Toby are halfbacks.
Sweet.
Okay, why do you have tampons in your boot?
I get really bad nosebleeds.
So you stick them up your nose?
Yeah. What? You've never done that?
Amanda Bynes is bad in it and cannot pass for a young man.
All right, you guys heard it here first. I believe that at least we have a lot of people championing
Vote desperate moves.
But if you know what, if you want to vote for the underdog, which in this case is She's the Man, you are allowed to do that. Vote in the comments below.
Maybe you like She's the Man.
Yeah, maybe you really love She's the Man, or maybe you have an argument for why it's actually good. Vote in the comments below, and we'll announce the winner the next time we do Raunch V Rom.
I'm sad about this because I don't want to start a precedent of me talking about movies I don't like.
Well, that's what Raunch V Rom's all about.
I know.
You gotta find the good, and you gotta.
I did say one nice thing about She's the Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Vote below, and we'll see you next time for Raunch versus
Rom!
Oh, yes, sir. Step right up. You need skates? We got all kinds of skates here. What kind of skates do you want? We got skates for amateurs. We got skates for professionals. We got any kind of skates you want. Just tell me, what kind of skates do you want? I got my own skates.
Oh my God! Is that a...
What? Oh, yeah. I hope you don't mind. I kind of borrowed one of your... Yeah, and you're right, by the way. These things actually work.
We're getting into it. I'm going first now.
Go first.
I never went first, and you know what? It's time for me to go first. It's time for me to put myself first.
I'm the co-host. You're the host.
No, we're both the
it's
hosts.
It's like when Mulder left.
Totally, it's like Mulder.
Scully becomes the main focus.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. The first movie that I'm going to talk about is The Girlfriend Experience. Directed by Steven Soderbergh. It's kind of like my last name. Not to brag or anything. Directed in 2009. I just watched the movie for the first time like last week. I've never seen it. I've only seen some Soderbergh movies, but I think it's interesting how he goes from like weird little indie movies to like big extreme blockbusters. Girlfriend Experience was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. Sasha Grey, who is or was an adult film actress, in case you guys didn't know, but you're all perverts, so I'm sure you did. She plays an escort who does more than sex work. She provides the girlfriend experience, meaning she goes and meets up with these guys and she like sits with them through dinner and listens to them talk about themselves. And
we were totally hammered, and as we're leaving, like some other manager comes in and decides not to comp it. It's like 10 grand. 10 grand was our barbell. Isn't that sick? That's a big barbell.
Complain about their families, complain about their jobs.
Because the economy is fucked and my business is fucked. I'm making like 1/10 of what I made 2 years ago. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And this is something that, is gonna fucking fall by the wayside if I can't get it together.
It takes place during October of 2008, so it takes place during the financial crisis as well as the election. So it's a bunch of dude bros talking about all that.
Great.
And her just kind of just listening and like really the experience she provides, it's transactional and it's so much less about sex than it is about making these men feel like they are worth something.
It doesn't feel like a long time. It's been fun, but it just feels like you're a big part of my life. You know, I look up and then suddenly you're a big part of my life.
But the fact that they're paying for her to be there validates them in some way. But this movie is kind of framed around all the conversations, there's like no sex in this movie, basically. There's a very like fleeting nudity, but there's no like sex scenes. It's very much conversations that she's having with the guys she's going on the dates with. She also has a long-term partner, which has its own array of issues for her.
He wants to meet me? Mm-hmm. What's he want to meet me for?
He's never met an escort that is in a committed relationship.
And then also she's being interviewed by this guy who's trying to find out like what kind of escort work she does for like a newspaper or magazine or something.
That guy, not to interrupt you, that guy's played by film critic Glenn Kenny, the erotic connoisseur, the character that you're talking about.
So that's a different guy.
Oh, different guy? Okay.
So she also gets interviewed by that creepy guy.
Mm-hmm. The great thing about the whole project is that it sounds like it's a white slavery ring, but it's not.
The erotic connoisseur who's played by a film critic,
Yeah.
because she wants to kind of get her name out there more to like become like one of the top like escorts or whatever. But then she's also being interviewed by this guy who's like writing a newspaper article
it's a
about
different
her
guy.
or whatever.
Okay.
And so we see these conversations are all outside of chronological order, and we kind of just see what makes up her business and her life. But yeah, that guy's so creepy. And so he's an actual film critic.
And he's a really good film critic and a very nice man.
Yeah, he plays a total.
He's like he's
plays a
buddies with
total
Soderbergh and yeah.
Her boyfriend is like a fitness trainer guy, and he's actually a real fitness trainer. Like a lot of these people are just normal people off the streets and everything, and it just kind of rounds out this woman's daily life. And this was adapted into a TV series, which I haven't seen, but I heard was really good. Have you seen it?
I've seen most of it, and it's like some of it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Other parts are not so good, but because it's like an anthology show.
Would you say it's better or worse than the movie?
It's an extension of the movie. The movie would have worked as a season of the show.
Yeah.
It's very much in line with what you get from the film. I think if you like the movie, you will like the show.
Yeah, I really liked it. A lot of people, I was reading a lot of reviews where people were like, well, this is just like boring shit. Sasha Grey is very like dull and like kind of like not bringing much personality to the table, but I feel like that kind of reflects on how she's...
I mean, I assume the armor in your situation must be very thick, just because it has to be, right?
She's really being like a businesswoman, and every conversation is kind of marketing and transactional. And there, you see her like talk to people about launching her website. And there's one scene where she gets someone explains what search engine optimization is to her and stuff, which I thought was really funny. But yeah, no, it was really good. I was really intrigued the whole time, and I thought she did great at it. And the girlfriend experience.
What prompted you to watch it?
It's been on my list for a while, and I feel like I'm very hit or miss with Soderbergh movies. I think the last one I watched before this was Schizopolis, which I didn't like very much.
That makes sense.
I mean, I love the Ocean's movies, you guys.
Did you see Kimmy?
And I liked Kimmy a lot. I really loved Kimmy. Maybe that one was actually the most recent one I watched. But yeah, it's just been on my list for a while, and I was like, why not pick it up and watch it? So if it's also been on your list for a while, I recommend it. Matt, you like this movie, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we both recommend it. We give it
Good
2
movie.
thumbs up. So check out The Girlfriend Experience.
Everyone's a critic.
Okay, so this is my first episode officially of Viva Physical Media. So maybe you don't know this, maybe other people don't know this. I am also a sort of part-time movie critic. I have a podcast that you're about to join. I don't have a lot of time anymore to watch movies for pleasure. Usually the things that I have to watch, I have to talk about, write about,
movies.
Things like that. Now that's hardly a problem. This is not me complaining. But that means that for today, I am not going to be able to talk about something I watched recently. But I thought it would be a good idea to talk about some movies that sort of encompass the spectrum of where Matt's coming from.
That's perfect.
Okay?
That's great.
So to start, I'm going to talk with my favorite movie of the 2010s.
Okay.
And it is Peter Strickland's The Duke of Burgundy. This is an absolute masterpiece. This is, in my opinion, the best film of the 2010s. It's from 2014. This movie is, well, let's just go to basics. This is about 2 women In a romantic relationship, there's an older woman and a younger woman. And the younger woman is heavily into sort of sadomasochism. And she likes to be dominated.
How long do I have to stay in here for?
For as long as I want.
She asks her partner, the older woman, to enact these very specific scenarios.
You were a bit slow to surprise me last time.
Well, it's not a surprise if you're expecting it, is it?
I know, but what I mean by surprise is within 24 hours. But not in the first hour, because that wouldn't be a surprise.
Okay.
And not in the last hour either. I'm just all frustrated by then.
So within 22 hours, then?
But the older woman is not so much into that part of their relationship, but complies, but sort of goes along with it because of how much she loves her partner. And so sort of the upshot of this movie is like about the things that you will do for your partner because you love them so much. But it's couched in this very specific sort of cinematic backdrop. It's very much sort of along the lines of the Eurocore erotic thrillers, not really thrillers, but erotic sort of cinema of the 70s. Your Jess Francos, your Giallos, things like that. There's very little, there's almost no sex, there is no nudity, and there are no men in the movie. It is just about their relationship. It's also very funny.
Nothing. Just a mosquito bite.
It's gorgeously photographed. It actually is so sort of steeped in its aesthetic and style that it has like credits for a perfumer.
Wow.
In the opening credits.
I
And
love
there's
that.
no way you would know what everything smells like, but there you have it.
You gotta have it.
And Strickland is, I mean, I think he's one of the best directors of genre filmmaking right now.
In Fabric.
He did In Fabric.
I really loved In Fabric.
His new movie was called Flux Gourmet.
Oh yeah, I saw
which
that.
is amazing.
I saw that at the Egyptian.
Absolutely insane. And so
Very
like his
insane.
movies, this is pretty esoteric. His movies continue to get more and more esoteric as
His
they
movies
go.
are very of the senses.
Yes, very much, very much. The main character, Sitsa Babbitt Knudsen, who's the older woman who's sort of playing the dom here, is a lepidopterist. And all of the recordings of moths and butterflies, and the Duke of Burgundy is a kind of a moth. That's where the title comes
Dude,
from.
you guys, side note, I fucking hate moths and I'm scared of them.
Well, there's a lot of close-ups of moths in this movie.
As long as they're not real and like
They're
in my
totally
face.
real.
But on my screen is fine.
Okay. But anyway, he had released an entire record of recordings of moth flappings.
Oh god, that's
on
so
his
scary.
on his own record label.
No, thank you.
All that set aside, one of the things that moves me more than just about anything else in a movie is when a character does something completely selfless for another person. And this is a very perfect example of that, where you have someone who loves their partner so much that they're willing to do something that makes them a little uncomfortable or, you know, makes them feel strange, just to sort of enact the idea that there really is like a genuine care and connection there. Every time I watch this movie, it makes me cry. I've probably seen it 10 times.
Man, I think I'm gonna take this home like tonight.
You should. The first time I saw this was at Fantastic Fest, and that was in 2014, and I saw it twice there. And I almost never go see a movie twice at a film festival because you're filling slots.
Yeah.
You want to go like see as much as you
Right.
can. This is amazing. It's also extremely funny if you can sort of like clue yourself in or tune yourself into sort of like the sort of esoteric perviness of
Does
it.
this have kind of like a Phantom Thread vibe?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. I think it's better than Phantom Thread.
Phantom Thread I struggle with, so.
Okay.
But I I'm also fascinated
Phantom
by. So.
Thread has some strains about sort of masculinity and control that this is dealing with in a very, very different way. I would be surprised if you can't pull something out of this one. Like
I probably can. I like Strickland's other work, so probably.
It's beautiful and funny and sweet, and it is, in my opinion, the most romantic movie of the last 20 years.
Damn. Okay.
The Duke of Burgundy. If you haven't seen this, you're only hurting yourself.
Would a human toilet be a suitable compromise?
Really?
We're talking about the working man right now. We're talking about some good old boys. We're talking about some good old union boys, because we are talking about Blue Collar by Paul Schrader.
Great film.
I kind of like this dopey cover for the DVD of them just like hanging out.
Yeah.
This though reminds me of the Criterion on the Waterfront cover, which also like works. You know what I mean? This is Paul Schrader's directorial debut movie. He had written obviously stuff before that. He wrote this with his brother. Came out in 1978. It stars Harvey Keitel.
I also know that you got your man inside the union. And the union's got its man inside the government. And if I fought it upwind, I'd be out of a job in an hour, wouldn't I?
It stars Richard Pryor.
I'll get on my private jet and wing up to Palm Springs. Hang out with Eddie Knuckles and hit a few golf balls with President Ford and Nixon and them motherfuckers.
It stars, I don't know if I'm saying this guy's name right, Yaphet Kotto?
Kodo.
Kodo?
All right, Smokey, man, don't even talk to me. Ugly, you stink. Everything about you is ugly. Your mama's ugly. Your father's ugly. The whole family's ugly. Garlic breath, ugly, big gut motherfucker.
So there are 3 guys who work in an auto factory under union, and they all are struggling, basically, to feed their families, to just be their own man. And they're getting shit from both their management at the auto factory.
Come on, it's the 15th time this machine screwed me. When are you going to get it fixed, huh? Tell your union rep. Come on, that's all you ever do is say, tell my union rep.
As well as their union representatives.
You're my union shop steward. You ain't doing shit.
I feel like I've read places that this movie was like anti-union or whatever, but I don't think that's the case at all. It's very much like anti-being exploited by any sort of faction above just the individual worker. So they're dealing with their unfair union like representatives and stuff, basically fucking them over, not fixing their shit, not paying them enough, and then the management doing the same thing. Stop listening if you don't want like all the plot points, because I'm gonna kind of go through a few.
Spoiler alert.
They decide to come together and they plan to rob a safe at their union headquarters that they think has a lot of money in it. They go and they do this kind of heist, and they find that there's only $600 in the union safe. But they do find a book that details illegal loans.
What was in the notebook? A list of loans, and they weren't regular loans, man. They were like shark loans, you know what I mean? All had high rates of interest.
And they're like, okay, cool, we'll blackmail this. And they realize they're in deep shit because the union people are like, so we were robbed and they stole $10,000 of your union dues. This is your money. And so someone is stealing out of your pockets. And they're there in the meeting and they're like, we didn't, there was not $10,000 there. So the union's doing this to get the insurance money. And so everything's way more fucked up and corrupt than you think. And so basically they have to figure out what to do with this knowledge and this book with all these illegal ledgers.
And they're on coke the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of partying scenes, which I guess were actually real.
Oh, really?
I didn't listen to the commentary, but I read kind of like a transcript of the director's commentary, and Schrader said that they were, there's this one party scene where they like sneak out of their houses and they all tell their wives different things.
See? Where you going? I'm going to help Rashawn move. Rashawn? What? Yeah, he got a new apartment last week, and he's gonna move in it tonight, you know?
In the middle of the night?
Well, you gotta beat them 2 months renting over them other people.
And they meet up at this random guy's house with like a bunch of women, and they're just like doing blow and drinking and like having sex with these girls and just like walking around on their hands and knees, like just being like rowdy party animals. And I guess they were using like Sweet and Low as the coke for the scenes, but they were doing blow like between every fucking take. Wow. And of course, like Richard Pryor was in the middle of all his shit, and I'm sure Harvey Keitel was also.
He seems completely sober to me at all times.
Oh, one thing I want to point out is that Harvey Keitel has the best t-shirt ever in this movie. He's wearing a t-shirt, and it's a McDonald's Big Mac t-shirt, and it says, like, toasted sesame buns, it's like big meat, beef patty balls.
2 all-beef patties, special sauce.
Lettuce, cheese.
2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Best t-shirt ever. Well, I want this shirt. So if you guys like really like our show and love me and found this shirt and then sent it to me, I would not be mad.
Send us 2. I take a medium.
Make it dose.
2 all-beef patties, special sauce, cheese, lettuce, pickles, onions on a specially beat it.
There's this really sad scene where Harvey Keitel's daughter needs braces and they can't afford to get it, so she like takes wire that she found and like wraps them around her own teeth, and he's like, fuck, we just need to get this money, you know? And so they're dealing with all of this corruption, and they have this book of ledgers, and they're trying to blackmail, and then they get the union people kind of come in, and they corner Richard Pryor, and they're like, we'll give you this job, you know, if you hand over the other guys. Yaphet Kotto, there's a really terrifying, have you guys both seen this movie?
Yes.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. There's a terrifying
One of the
scene.
most cold-blooded things you'll see in a movie.
Terrifying murder scene, similar to the shit I watch in like Saw movies and like all that stuff. Yeah. Just you'll see it.
Yaphet Kotto just kills Cary Elwes, just like cuts his legs right off.
Yeah, he saws him right off. And then Harvey Keitel's character is like, well, we got to stick it to the man. And then, you know, it brings in a lot of race stuff as well, because Richard Pryor is like,
It means that you got more chances than I got, Jerry. And you're always gonna have more chances than me. I got one chance, and I'm gonna take it. I'm black, Jerry. The police ain't gonna protect me.
I think it's a really, really great movie. It's very intense. It follows the friendship and the falling out between these 3 guys that are seemingly in the same place, but once you break it down, they're completely in different places, and how basically this union, instead of bringing everyone together, actually divides them. It's very fatalist, and it's not a super happy movie, but it's super, super good, and I definitely recommend. I'm a big Paul Schrader fan. I think you are kind of a Schrader
Absolutely,
fan.
Yeah. I mean, what's not to like?
The Canyons. I hate love the Canyons.
I haven't seen it since it came out.
Blue Collar was absolutely an amazing watch. Rent it on DVD or Blu-ray.
I talked about a movie that is sort of at one end of this sort of more esoteric, you know, exploitation, art house, Euro sleaze spectrum.
Yes.
And then so the other end of like the far polar opposite.
His movie is.
Yes, that was the North Pole. This is the South Pole.
Okay.
The South Pole is totally obscure garbage that nobody's ever heard of, that I think is amazing.
Except for apparently Dan from the
Yeah, well, he heard me talk about this before. I talk about this movie a lot. I have actually mentioned this movie on multiple venues. But we're going to talk about a movie that we have under the title In Hot Pursuit, but its actual title is Polk County Pot Plane. This movie is based on a true story. In the 1970s, on a mountain in Georgia, some drug dealers landed a DC-4 on the top of a mountain, and it was stuffed with marijuana.
Okay.
They got caught. Most of them sort of got away. The guys who got arrested didn't get in a whole lot of trouble. In any case, nothing really came of it. It wasn't a huge deal. What happened was the government suddenly has this airplane on the top of a mountain with like a carved out runway, and there's nothing anybody can do about it now. They can't take the plane off because the runway is too short, right? And so here comes this guy. His name's Jim West. Jim West went on to become a Georgia state senator. What he does is he buys the airplane, he buys the land around the airplane, he hires a bunch of guys to come and extend the runway so that he can fly the plane off of the mountain. Then he makes a movie about it, and it's this movie, Polk County Pot Plane. Now, this movie is basically like Smokey and the Bandit. It's like a regional hicksploitation stunt movie.
Yeah, it's in our redneck section.
It's in our redneck section, and it's about these 2 dudes named Oosh and Douche. And yeah, they're just like, you know, out trying to like stick it to the man. They get involved with all these bad guys. They get involved with the mob.
Can you believe that little sawed-off ass wants us to pay him $150,000?
How'd he come up with that?
He says for that load we lost when we got busted and for the truck we just tore up. Besides that, we only got 7 days to pay him back. Can you imagine?
Let's go smoke a joint, man, and talk about it.
They're trying to like just basically make their way out in the wilderness. It's awesome. They get thrown in jail. There's a helicopter prison escape breakout. It's mostly just a kind of rambunctious stunt movie, even though the credits say that there were no stuntmen used in the movie. I believe it because there are probably no professional stuntmen actually
just a bunch
on
of guys
set
who
at
were
any
like
time.
willing to like throw themselves off mountains.
And in fact, the director, Jim West, like I said, he went on to become a Georgia state senator. He also patented an incendiary commode. So like a toilet that burns your shit.
That probably
the man
smelled really
was
good.
insane. This is, okay, do you know the French filmmaker Jacques Rivette?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jacques Rivette once said that every movie is a document of its own making.
Okay.
Right? So this is a movie that's based on a true story and a local urban legend, reenacted by the people who lived in the town at the time it was happening.
gosh.
So what you're basically seeing is that prophecy fulfilled. What you're seeing is the like quintessential version of a tiny community reenacting a local myth for themselves. And it is absolutely one of the most electrifying and silly things I've ever seen. You have to check out Polk County Pot Plane. Not only did Jim West direct this movie, but he stars in it as the pilot of the airplane, and it's the actual fucking airplane.
Really?
That gets its own credit. Absolutely, I'm not making this up.
Also, this cover is really great, you guys.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Such a good movie.
Damn, okay.
In Hot Pursuit, aka Polk County Pot Plane, if you, again, just like the Duke of Burgundy, if you don't see this movie, you are only hurting yourself.
I bought the most beautiful new car.
Matt's first dog movie. Whoa, gosh.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez. You guys may remember, I hope you do, last episode, me and Kevin, as Kevin's last dog movie, we talked about the incredible journey. And to kind of bring new blood in, we watched Homeward Bound. The incredible journey. The remake, which is what I grew up watching.
Yes.
And so I'd seen this movie many, many times before.
So I'd never seen this before.
I love that.
I watched the original one in school, like in the second grade. You know, it was like movie day or whatever.
Okay.
They showed it to us. So that was what I was familiar with. I had never seen this before a couple of days ago.
Okay, and?
It's amazing.
You guys, this movie is so good. And I feel like I watched this so much growing up, and I don't know why I watched this. I guess it was just on. It came out in 91, I believe. What am I doing without my notes?
I thought it was like 93.
Dog movie, Homeward Bound, Incredible Journey. Dwayne Dunham, 93, right? And this guy...
Speaking of which, Dwayne Dunham, David Lynch's editor.
Are you crazy?
Oh, wait, I didn't even know this.
He edited Blue Velvet.
He said, what?
That is an incredible
a couple
journey
other
also.
David Lynch movies, and like Return of the Jedi.
Whoa.
Okay, but more importantly, he directed Halloween Town.
Totally rad.
Yes. He's had a long career in like Nicktown. Like he's done a lot of like teen
He
TV
did a lot
shows and
of
stuff.
Disney original movies, like
Yes.
The 13th Year, where the guy becomes a mermaid when he turns 13, and Double Teamed, which is the unfortunate title of a movie about twins who become basketball players.
Yep.
All these movies came out when I was watching all those Disney original movies.
He also edited every single episode of Twin Peaks season 3.
Okay, I just wrote down the bullshit Disney stuff. I didn't even look into this. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
The man is a legend.
He directed Little Giants.
Somebody call 911!
I had no idea when I put this on, and then so when his director credit came up, I screamed to my girlfriend, "Dwayne Dunham directed this!" I got really wound up about
Okay,
it.
so perfect. Now you know why this movie's so good.
But it rules.
So this movie, it basically follows the same plot as The Incredible Journey, which is the original movie, which is based on a book which apparently happened in real life. So we have...
It even has the same misunderstanding with the misplaced letters.
Yeah. So we have our three main characters. We have...
Shadow.
He is voiced by Don Amici.
Don Amici.
I'm keeping my eye on you, pup.
From Batteries Not Included and Cocoon.
And a lot of other things.
A lot of other
too.
things, yes.
This was
a
his
really
last
great
role, I
Yes,
believe.
it is. He made one of my favorite classic comedies called Midnight.
Okay.
Great film.
And then we have Sassy, voiced by Sally Field. Perfect.
Even a very great beauty needs her beauty sleep.
And Chance,
voiced by
the great Michael J. Fox.
Hey, nice tie. How you doing? Hey, you want me to show you a place where you can bury that food?
Michael J. Fox was made for this role, I think.
I agree.
He's perfect.
This might be even better than Marty McFly.
I think it is. He's perfect. And the way they did it is, I believe they filmed everything and then had them ad-lib over it. And so you'll see Michael, this dog, he was a puppy when this was filmed, so they had to do it really quick. And he's so clumsy and over-eager, very sweet, cute, good boy.
And that totally fits with his character.
And it totally fits with the character. And I was reading about how Michael J. Fox kind of had to ad-lib things to like match up with, you know, Chance like stumbling.
Fine, stay here and diet.
Are you calling me fat?
Of course not, for a hippopotamus. I meant to do that.
Running too far or something like that. And I think he does such a good job.
It's beautiful. All of the voice work is really, really stunning in this.
Yeah, it really is. Sassy, I remember, I feel like I had a stuffed animal I called Sassy after I watched this for the first time.
It really is. It really is an incredible journey.
And so began the most perilous journey of our lives.
So it takes place in California instead of Canada this time. And their family is... Why are they going to San Francisco?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
We're going to be living in pretty tight conditions. Besides, my work there is temporary. We'll be back before you know it.
But their family, the mom and
Who
the dad
cares?
just got married and they're combining families.
I thought it was for his job.
Maybe for his job. And they're leaving these animals with
Temporarily.
Gene Smart.
Yeah, it's Gene Smart.
Who...
having a real resurgence right now.
You know, I love hacks.
Yeah.
And so I was
I love designing women, so.
Okay, perfect. So we're on the same page.
And
Gene
she was
Smart's
on
great.
my favorite season of 24.
Oh, I didn't even know she was in that.
She played the evil president's wife in
Well,
the
she's
fifth
fucking
season
great,
of
and she was
24.
also
rules.
in Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah.
And so...
By the way, in She's the Man...
Oh, no.
one of the characters has a mother that's played by Julie Haggerty, who's the female lead in Airplane. And the dad in this is Robert Hayes, who's the star of Airplane.
Wait,
and so I watched She's the Man and Homeward Bound back to back. So it was Julie Haggerty and then Robert Hayes. And Airplane, if you know me, is the funniest movie ever made.
I didn't like Airplane.
That's complete insanity on your part. But still...
That's what my boyfriend says, but
it's
I
fine.
just didn't.
Well, Nick's right. In any case, it was fun to watch them like back to back.
Yeah,
in two
that's
different
crazy.
movies.
Sometimes I feel like that has happened a few times before in the past with these episodes where it's, oh wait, this weird person in this random dog movie was also in the movie that I talked about this episode.
And I didn't recognize Julie Haggerty during watching She's the Man. It was only when I saw Robert Hayes in Homeward Bound, I was like, oh my God, that was Julie Haggerty in the movie I watched 30 minutes ago. Anyway.
Insane. So they go to this ranch owned by Gene Smart because they have to go to San Francisco for the guy's job. And Chance is kind of like, he's narrating also.
And he doesn't trust people.
What are you waiting for? They're not coming back.
That just shows you how little you know.
Well, it's happened before. To me, people use you and lose you.
He doesn't trust people because he went to the pound. He was a street dog. And he's like, you know what? This little kid who's the youngest, this kid
Ugly
is like...
kid, too.
I thought that kid was so cute.
I don't like the kids.
Okay. And Chance is like, you know, this kid likes me, but I don't know. I'm like my own dog. And then Shadow is old. And Shadow loves Peter, the oldest son. And they have a really good bond.
And Shadow keeps talking about, like, how important it is to be a good dog.
And to protect.
We didn't ask for this job.
We didn't have to. It's built in. Has been ever since the dawn of time, when a few wild dogs took it upon themselves to watch over man. To bark when he's in danger. To run and play with him when he's happy. To nuzzle him when he's lonely. That's why they call us man's best friend.
He's very loyal.
Like honor is very important to him. Like
And
there's
Chance
a
thinks
dog
he's a
code.
square,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Chance thinks he's a square.
Sassy is exactly what you would think Sassy is like.
It's like I said all along, Poopsie. Cats rule and dogs drool.
She is very high-strung, very feminine, very high maintenance, and the little girl is like her match or whatever. And so she is used to getting everything she wants, but she also like plays outside, which is like they have these dogs and cats under good control, you know? They don't like run off.
They're good dogs. They're good dogs and cats.
So they go, and the thing is, these dogs and cats don't understand human language. When they leave, they were like, why are you sad?
I know you're sad. I wish I knew why.
Immediately started crying.
It happens multiple times, yeah.
And
also, they communicate with each other, but through telepathy or something.
yeah, their mouths don't move, which I love.
Yeah.
Love that their mouths don't
No,
move.
they just think at each other, and it seems perfect to me.
Peter tells Shadow to stay, and he just stays. Are you kidding? He just stays as the car runs away. Because the car
runs away.
And eventually, the whole like note mishap happens. So Jean Smart writes a note saying she's going to go out and...
She's going on like a cattle drive.
Yeah. And she says she'll take the dogs out later or something, but the second part left, so it looked like she took
Well, there's
them
like a wind. The wind blows the part of the note away, and then the guy who's supposed to come look after the dogs only sees the second half of the note that says like, I'm taking the dogs.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But the two dogs and the cat just leave on their own.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, they left.
It was Shadow's idea, because Shadow was like, something's not right. They're not coming back right away.
Yeah.
Let's go home. It's
Let's
right
go
over this
home.
mountain.
Yeah.
Finally. Oh, Shadow. Whoa. Get a load of this.
Well, turns out it's an incredible journey away.
It wasn't over the mountain.
Yeah.
This is filmed in Oregon, as most things that require wilderness in the western part of the country do. Kind of just goes through all the same things that The Incredible Journey goes through.
It's pretty much the same movie, although the third act of it is more intense. First, there's a whole subplot where we see Robert Hayes and he is making flyers and like trying to find the missing pets.
And this appeals to Peter, the oldest son, who's like not quite sure about his new stepdad.
Yeah.
And he actually goes to the police on his own and asks them to like
Which is a
help
really
them.
funny scene.
And the guy's like,
I need a physical description of the missing persons.
Well, there's Shadow. He's got brown eyes and sandy-colored hair. And Sassy's got blue eyes. She's Himalayan.
Himalayan?
That's right. And Chance is, well, he's white with black spots.
Black spots?
Are you talking about a dog?
We have more important things to deal with, but like you can make flyers. So he goes home to make flyers, then finds the flyers that his dad his stepdad had made.
There's a whole family domestic drama that's sort of added onto this that's not in the original.
Right, exactly.
There's a lot of... The adventure that the animals go on is like way more intense. There's a whole section, and it's almost like the climax of the movie where they come across a missing little girl.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And they like this little girl has been like missing in the woods, and they rescue her.
That's really fucked up. When I didn't even remember this part.
It's so intense, and they rescue her, and you're like, oh, this is where they're gonna get found. But no, it goes on for another 25 minutes.
Yeah, because these dogs and cat are not patient at all. Before that happens,
and they don't trust people.
We get my least favorite scene, which is the scene that made me cry the most, which is where Sassy tries to cross the river.
It's gentle here, Sassy. You can swim across.
I don't have to swim. I have a note.
Oh my God, and you think she's dying? It's so bad.
And it's like, I knew you guys, like I knew how this movie ended. I've seen it a million times, but it still like stressed me out so hard. I think a lot of it has to do with the score by Bruce Broughton.
Good score. It's very good music.
It's great. He scored Tombstone. He also scored Baby's Day Out.
One of your favorite films.
One of my favorite films.
When I watched this the other night, I watched this with my girlfriend. And she'd seen
the story you told me about.
I know, I told you already. So I have never seen this before, but she'd seen it multiple times. Jill decided that she was going to take like half a mushroom cap.
I love this.
And she ate like half a mushroom, and we watched this movie, Homeward Bound, and she got way too high.
She wept
got
openly. Is she okay
way
with you
too
telling
high.
the story?
Absolutely.
Okay,
she
great.
confirmed to me that it is okay for me to tell this story.
I loved you telling me this because I was stone cold sober when I watched this, and I was also crying throughout, but I could not even imagine.
No,
if
she
I had
wept.
been.
She was weeping openly from like minute 1 all the way through. And also, spoiler alert for you viewers at home, she, in her memory, thought that Shadow died at the end.
Spoiler alert. Shadow survives.
So she kept prompting me that Shadow was going to die, and I was like, honey, there's no way this dog's going to die at the end of the movie. Only a monster would make a movie like this, where like one of the dogs dies. And she's like, I don't know what you were thinking about. It was amazing.
Oh my God. I love that because it was probably such a beautiful surprise for her.
And they do, in her defense, they do try to set you up for it.
They do. So we go through a lot of different things. We go through things that start out very, very mild, like Chance gets stunk by a skunk type vibe. And so Sassy does fall over a waterfall. Very, very scary shit. It's intense because she tries to like hop some rocks and then she falls in and Shadow tries to go after her. They use a puppet and they also use like a mechanical like robotic cat. There's a really funny shot of this cat and her like eyes really wide. We'll throw it up
The
there.
cat has beautiful eyes.
Beautiful cat, honestly. Himalayan, gorgeous cat.
You know the part that made me cry the most was when she is reunited with
and she says, my boys.
My boys.
Oh, my
oh
God.
I lost it.
I was crying.
Sassy?
Couldn't be.
Sassy!
Sassy! My boys! My boys! Sassy! Sassy! Welcome, girlfriend.
So she gets picked up by this guy, this
nice
guy,
man.
this nice man. There's a scene where he's rubbing her with like a towel and drying her off, and she's like, Shadow, like she's like, oh my gosh, and then he gives her like goat's milk, and she like makes crack about it not being low fat because she's like, she's a woman in the 90s, and but she drinks it anyways, and then later she like hears them barking. And they are reunited, and that's, my
beautiful,
boys, my
beautiful,
boys.
my boys, so amazing.
And before this, Chance and Sassy had a very
They had like a contentious relationship.
Yeah, it was kind of like sibling fighting or whatever. And he was like, I missed you. And she's like, you did? And he's like, oh, it's okay having you around.
Michael J. Fox should have won Best Actor for this movie.
Honestly, Michael J. Fox is Chance as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like more than Marty McFly. So they eventually, they find this little girl.
Yes.
So they find this little girl crying. She was lost on a hike or something, I'm guessing. And the people keep her warm throughout the night. They're all cuddling her. It's very, very sweet. And then the people come the next day, the search party, and they find her.
The dad, her dad comes and rescues her.
Her dad
and he's like,
Shadow.
You amazing dogs. It's so good.
Thank you for rescuing my daughter, he says to the golden retriever. Which in the movie is not weird at all, but then when you talk about it later, you're like, this man was just
No, it makes total sense. And the dog completely understands what he's saying because everyone speaks English.
Even though before, the dogs didn't understand what their humans were doing when they left.
Yeah, my dog doesn't understand anything I say to her.
I think my dog knows probably 50 words.
You think she knows 50 words?
I think so.
Name 50 words that she knows.
You want me to name them right now? She knows wait, she knows stay, she knows sit, she knows lay down.
I know, okay.
She knows dinner, breakfast, we don't do lunch. She knows daycare. She knows potty.
Wait, what does daycare mean to her?
I'm taking her to daycare.
But she knows what that means?
I don't know. I think she does. There's no scientific way to prove. She knows,
really?
She knows friends.
What does that mean?
Friends means there's another dog. They're friends. Like, it's friends.
I don't think she knows these words.
Knows. And she knows treat. She knows.
All dogs know the word treats.
She knows Nick's name, but I don't think she knows my name.
That makes sense. That tracks.
So at least 11. We don't have time.
At least 11.
We don't have time.
11 to 50.
Chance is all freaked out because he thinks he's going back to the pound. He's like, there's uniforms. They're coming to get me.
They're coming to get me. He's really terrified. It's actually really poignant. Yeah, he has PTSD.
He truly does.
Like Bingo.
Yeah. Bingo and his mom dying in the fire.
Oh, so amazing.
The statue that was erected in her name.
Oh, stop reminding me of that movie. So good.
All right, so they get taken to the animal shelter, and the people know that they're the ones missing. They're all stoked. They're like, we found them.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing is the people aren't antagonists. It's that the dogs don't understand what's happening to them.
Chance gets his porcupine needles pulled out of his little lips.
That makeup is really amazing.
And when
how did they even get those
pulling on his lip?
How did they get those prosthetics onto the dog? I don't know. That's amazing. Like it looks really like it's totally seamless as an illusion, and it looks really painful.
Yeah, it does. And then there's like a really cute scene where he's like, Sassy, do you think you can get these out? And this cat just goes over and like bites on the dog's like floppy lip. And this cat's actually biting this dog's lip. It's so cute. He gets fixed up, but then they all break out of.
They break out of the
pound.
pound.
Just be patient. I know they don't understand, but in my brain I was like, just hold the fuck on.
Yeah.
Because this family was told that they were there and they were so excited.
Right, the family shows up.
They have a near miss on the road.
At the shelter, too.
Yeah, the family drives through, and the dog and the cat, they just, they barely miss each other.
The wife is Kim Greist, who is William Peterson's wife in Manhunter.
Oh, interesting. I did not look
It's not really
that
that interesting. It's just who it is.
Interesting. Manhunter.
This is a new thing that you, as a Viva audience, will have to get used to, is me pointing out what else an actor has done.
Which is great, because I always have to look it up. So, meanwhile, all the kids start calling the stepdad Dad.
Yes. And he loves it.
He's stoked on it. He's like, finally, I better find these fucking pets.
He is really into finding them, and it's not in a begrudging way.
No, he's not shitty. He's good.
No, he's a good man, and he wants to take care of this family, and he really does care about the pets.
And so they keep making their way home, and they come across a train depot.
Oh, God, so good.
And they're hopping along the tracks, and Sassy almost gets hit by a train.
It's a very suspenseful moment.
But she doesn't. She's fine. But then Shadow falls into a hole.
A mud pit.
Like a mud hole.
And he breaks he like hurts his paw. He breaks his paw.
He's covered in mud. He breaks or
Is it broken? It's hurt. It's hurt really bad. And he can't make it out of the
He
pit.
tries with the mud. He's like sliding down, and Chance
is like, you're not going to get out. Come on, you're coming with me.
Yeah, like, you didn't let me give up. Like, I'm not going to. And then Shadow says something like,
You've learned everything you need, Chance. Now all you have to learn is how to say goodbye.
Oh.
And I was just like, I was on my couch.
You're bawling.
My dog wasn't even cuddling with me. She was like over there sleeping.
She's
and I was
looking
just
at you and like, Mom,
you.
what's wrong?
Caribou watched it with me for a while though, so that was sweet.
Caribou will do anything.
And it was really sad, and then it cut, and we were like, fuck, and this is probably where Jill was like, the dog's dead.
She had been telling me that the dog was going to die the entire
the
time.
Yeah.
And I was like, honey, there's no way that dog's going to die.
But they make you think that they do. Because Shadow's literally like, I'm too old, go on without me.
Yeah.
Then you see this family are they at their normal house?
They're back home, and the dogs and cat have made it home.
Yeah, so all of a sudden they're like, what's that noise? And then first we see Chance.
Jamie! Jamie, my boy!
And he's running.
Because he's barking.
He's barking, and he's running through the field. They must have timed it, because Chance is the first one to come through. And
they decided not to come in at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, this will be great. And Chance decides he loves his little boy, finally. He wants a family now. He's decided, and it's very, very sweet. And then Sassy comes, and the girl's like, Sassy!
Hope, 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 hope. Oh, my baby! Oh, Hope! I thought I'd never see you again.
Oh, Sassy's back.
She comes bounding through, and then Peter's like, where's Shadow?
And it takes a while. They're setting it up.
Come on, Shadow. He was old. He was too far. He was just too old.
Oh, Peter, honey.
And I was like, was the dog that old? He looked really healthy. He just had an old
He was only
Don
voiced
Amici
by
voice.
an 80-year-old man.
Yeah, that's it. That was only that man's last role.
Yeah.
And then
He shows up.
You see him?
Peter.
Shadow!
Oh, Peter. I worried about you so.
You see him limping.
And he is the best dog.
He is such a good boy.
It's very important to Shadow to be
a good
the
boy.
best dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to be a good boy. It's the mission of his life is to be a good boy.
And to protect Peter.
And love Peter.
And he comes and he's like, Peter, you're okay. Even though there was nothing, you know. And that broke me.
And
as
he
well.
doesn't know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it killed me.
So that's how the movie ends. It's very, very sweet. Cannot believe there's a sequel where they get lost
There's
again.
a sequel to this?
It's called Lost in San Francisco. These fucking dogs and cats.
I have to see this movie. Can we do this one?
Yeah. They have the guts to get lost fucking again in San Francisco.
Should we do it next or should we wait?
No, we should wait.
Okay. I really want to watch it
We
now.
will. Shadow is played by a dog named Ben.
Okay.
And also 4 other dogs. But Ben was the main one. Chance was played by a dog named Rattler.
Rattler or
Rattler?
Like rattlesnake?
Like
Rattler?
a Rattler, yeah.
Okay.
Also, and another 3 dogs. And then Sassy was played by Tiki, and then 10 other cats. But yeah, this movie rules. This
It was
movie's
awesome.
great.
How many paws would you give this movie?
Fuck, I might give this 4 paws. Or 3.5, maybe.
Is it total 4?
Because you have 4 paws on you.
I thought it was 5 paws.
Where was
the
the
total.
5th pie, Matt? Or the
fifth pie?
The paw.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give it 3.5 paws.
Yeah, I think.
And
I would
I'll
also do
tell
3.5
you
paws.
why.
Why?
This is gonna be controversial. Look, I loved the voice work in this movie. Michael J. Fox, incredible, especially.
He is Chance.
I would have really liked to have seen like a 20-minute shorter version of this that had no talking. It was just the
But
just
that
the
was
animals.
the original.
Well, I didn't get to talk about that on this show. All I'm saying,
I thought
but that had narration.
Yeah.
That had all this other stuff. The movie, as this stands, I would have liked to have seen this with no talking because I think that it's very, very well directed, and I think that you do understand emotionally what the animals are communicating to each other, even without the talking.
And you mean without narration too?
Without narration, like nothing. The only dialogue we hear is human dialogue, and we understand what the animals are doing anyway.
I feel like the voice actors did such a good job at creating these personalities.
Absolutely. This
and
is
the
not
fact-
me saying that it would be better this
but
way.
you would
It's just I would like to see that very much. I would like the more abstracted version of this.
I also think that it's definitely says something that this movie still, gives me such anxiety
Goosebumps,
and
man.
like goosebumps and like emotional reactions as it did when I was younger and watched this, even though I knew like everything that was gonna happen. This movie fucking rules. You guys-
Also, it's a tight 85 minutes. It just
Oh,
blows
yeah.
by.
Oh, totally.
It's just it's great.
Yeah.
You don't even. It's not a children's movie. It's a good movie.
It's just a good movie. Yeah. If you guys need, I don't know. It's good.
And if you're
you
a
will
pet
tear up
owner,
a little
oh
bit.
my God! If you're a pet owner, like get the Kleenex first.
Yeah, for sure.
It's great.
Okay.
I loved it.
Everyone check out Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey. This was a good pick for your first dog movie.
I agree. I loved it. What are we doing next?
Mainly because I didn't want to like be emotional about a dog movie for a little bit,
No.
and I was looking at some of the titles you kind of came up with, and I decided, with your approval,
of course,
that we should do Rottweiler, which is also known as Dogs of Hell, I believe.
Look at this fucking Target thing
in widescreen letterbox format.
A freakish army experiment goes out of control in a small southern mountain resort when 12 U.S. Army trained killing machines known as Rottweilers
12. Known
invade.
as Rottweilers.
Dogs of Hell on the loose.
I'm really stoked for this. I feel like we haven't done a shitty horror dog movie in a while, so I'm looking forward to this.
This has a credit, a co-starring credit for Damien.
Yeah,
but it doesn't say if that's a dog or a person.
Or a demon.
Rottweiler.
Yeah, so stay tuned. I'm very excited for this.
I have it on good authority that this movie was originally shot for 3D. But I could be completely wrong about that.
Well, we're going to see if things get thrown at our screen.
Good night.
Steve here, we can't play.
Well, we did it.
We did it.
Episode 45
My
in the
first
bag.
episode.
Matt's first episode.
I hope everybody enjoyed it.
I think it's a good one.
I think I am a decent, if not completely worthy successor.
I think you are. I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited. Viva Physical
R.I.P. Kevin.
Media. R.I.P. Kevin. Even though he's not dead, he's doing fun shit
He's
somewhere
dead to me.
else.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I hope you guys liked the episode. You can email us, viva@scarecrow.com.
You can tweet at us at PhysicalViva on Twitter.
You can comment below, share this with your friends and family, and like it.
Remember to vote for
subscribe.
Raunch versus Rom.
Vote for Raunch versus
Don't
Rom.
vote for She's the Man.
Or do.
Don't vote for She's the Man.
Listen to Scarecrow's podcast, Scarecrow Radio. Listen to our
new podcast. The Suspense is Killing Us.
Yes.
We're recording your first episode in a couple of days.
Yes, I'm going to be like in your seat of having a new thing.
Yes. You're going to be amazing.
I'm excited. Listen to Mark Steiner's Soundtrack Cinema. Listen to all of our old episodes are on YouTube. Go to our letterbox where you can see every movie we've talked about, see how many you have left to watch. Be a completist. Watch all that shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Go to the store if you're in the area. If not, we have rent by mail. Check it out at scarecrow.com. And I think that's probably it.
Satan.
Hail Satan and Viva Physical Media forever.
Forever.
Bye.
Bye.
We're the dudes who do or die. From the shores of Acapulco to the clouds up in the sky, way up high, we're the heroes of the headset. We're the boys who bring
One good idea is to get yourself listed in a lot of directories and review sites.